Thanks. Welcome everyone here to the Smash Sports Show right here on Smash FM here on a Thursday here in Melbourne. Of course, let's go across to our friends over in Adelaide. Of course, being with one of our amazing ambassadors, of course, which we've now sponsored this particular player for now 2 or 3 seasons now, because she plays for the Oakdale Netball Club. Of course, her name's Mikayla. She joins us right now. Thanks, Mikayla, for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Will.
No worries. Well, it's a pretty tough year for the league team. Of course, finishing just outside the top 4. What was it like?
Yeah, the season was pretty tough. It had its ups and downs, that's for sure. Yeah, it was tough not getting the top 4 this season. I think that's something that we've been working towards for the past couple of years, and still missing out again this year was a bit of a blow. But I think there's still a lot of positives that we can take away from the season that we've just had. We're still a super, super young Premier League side. So yeah, we've just got plenty of things to build on for next year, and hopefully can crack into the top 4 space.
Was there one defining moment of the season that you felt that, this kid could go somewhere this in 2023?
Yeah, I think, well, just from the beginning of the season, knowing that we're all like pretty young, I think there was moments throughout some of our games against the top sides where we really shone through as a team unit, where we really came together and looked like we could definitely match them, the top sides. But yeah, we just fluctuated a little bit too much to try and stick it out and get on top of them. So that's when they took the win from us, and then that's kind of where we lost our points.
It was a pretty young team, and also got a chance to watch your team play once or twice throughout the season.
Yeah.
Tell us a couple of players that we should watch out for in 2024 without giving too much away.
I think I could go through and list everybody in the squad. I think, yeah, just everybody is super exciting. Like, not even just in the league space. We have so many girls within our reserve side who are well and truly pushing us, league girls, and who can be pushing up into our space as well. So I guess you've got the likes of someone like Poppy Scholes, who was playing as a 16-year-old up in Premier League and pretty much started every single game. So she's just a freak of nature. She's just crazy. Yeah, and then you have someone like Alex Ward, who will probably be coming up into the league space, and Kaylee Cook-Shackles as well. And then we've kind of got our consistent attack end for next year as well. But yeah, and then we've added in some new players. So yeah, we're looking like a reasonably different sort of squad for next year. But everyone's looking really excited.
Just mentioned about Poppy. Of course, she also plays another sport. Now, I had on the show for a different sport. Of course, if anyone playing at home, she plays for Glenelg in the footy. Have you tried to convince her to stay at netball instead of moving across to footy?
Oh, I mean, of course, I'd love her to choose netball for our sake, but I think because she is so young, she just needs to lap up every sporting experience that she can. And while she's still able to do both, I think it's definitely beneficial that she continues to do both, and she loves it. So there's no changing her mind on just continuing to do both. I think if she could do both forever, she would. But there may come a point in her career where she does have to choose. But I wouldn't pressure into one over the other. Yeah.
Also a young player as well, was part of the South Australia under-19s team that obviously ended up winning nationals in Darwin mid-year. How good was that to have Olivia coming back to the team from her obviously successful national campaign? I know you had 2 others as well who represent Oakdale for the South Australian team.
Yeah, we had Olivia, and then Kaylee as well, who was sort of in the reserve space at Oakdale. So both of them went away for the 19s and were super successful. Yeah, it's awesome having club girls go and represent our state. I think it's helps to build what we have at Oakdale as well, that they can also, represent, as much as they're representing the state, they're also representing us as a club. They're amazing, those girls. They've had so much experience in that space, and then can come back and implement it when we play against them and train against them. So yeah, it's definitely beneficial, that's for sure.
The Thunderbirds won the premiership in the Suncourt Super Netball or about the same period of time throughout the season. Has the Thunderbirds' success helped regarding two girls get involved in netball there at Oakdale?
I don't think it's necessarily obviously it's very inspiring that they've gone out and won the premiership. I think they've done exceptionally well considering the past couple of years that they've had. So it's awesome to be able to see our state successful. And then I think that also that brings attention to our netball league as well. By them, winning, then people go, oh wow, maybe netball can be bigger and that sort of thing. So yeah, their success definitely has a flow-on effect for the rest of us. Except they've lost potentially quite a few of their players up in Thunderbird. So it'll be interesting to see what the squad will look like next year for them, whether they have a lot of their training partners who we play against in our league, whether a lot of them move up. So then that could potentially impact us and who we have to line up against. I mean, I'd love to see some of the girls that we play against get elevated up into the squad, because that means we don't have to play against them. But also just for their development as well. It'd be so awesome to see a lot more SA girls elevated into the Thunderbird squad.
Talking about elevating the game, obviously the Rezzies made it to the grand final. I guess obviously fell short against Contacts. But how good was it to see the Rezzies make the grand final to play Contacts? But I guess it was a pretty interesting night because it was the same night the Matildas were played at the exact same time. So what was it like? Obviously, you would have heard some cheering, from the foyer, which where most of them congregated towards the end. How was it like being at the Rezzies grand final?
Yeah, it was so awesome. I'm so proud of what the reserves were able to put out this season. I think Tara really helped to develop those girls and inspire them, and I think they all wanted it so much. It was so awesome that they made the grand final. Obviously, they were super disappointed that they weren't able to get over the line against the Contacts girls, especially considering they'd beaten them throughout the season. But that's what can happen in a grand final. I think even though we weren't able to get across the line this year, just having the experience in a grand final situation will only put us in better stead for the next coming years, where hopefully we're able to still continue to make the final series again and again. Just because whenever you play in finals, different sort of pressures come about and that sort of thing. So yeah, the girls are only better off for making the grand final, and disappointing that they lost, but they're only going to learn so much from that experience and they'll have more fire in their belly for next year, that's for sure. But in terms of the Matildas playing, they were playing, they had it on the TV alongside our grand final, so a lot of the people were out there watching the Matildas and then coming back and forth between it, the netball as well, which was funny.
A fantastic pathway that you have there at Oakdale. As we know, obviously, just a perfect result was the reserves going all the way to the grand final. Is there any of those players that we should watch out for, and have they been elevated to the league team yet?
I think at the moment for us, we're just sticking with a squad. We've got I'm not sure if you know, we've got a new head coach for next year. So his plan may look slightly different to what we've had previously. But at the moment, we've just got a fairly big squad. And then, we'll have internal trials slightly later down the track, probably towards the start of next year. That's probably when we sort of hit the court more, have more internal trials. There will probably be movement up and down potentially, that happens every season though. But definitely exciting for some of the reserves girls who can now push into the space, because we've had someone like Jordan retire, so that sort of opens up a position out in the league side for somebody potentially from resis to push up into that space. So yeah, there'll definitely be movement, but yeah, I can't say now where everyone will be because I don't even know myself.
Yes, and Jordan, obviously she retired at the end of this season, just passed. Obviously, you played alongside her in that mighty defensive circle there for Oakdale. How strange will it be for next season to walk out on the court for game one of the season and, your amazing buddy Jordan's not going to be there?
Yeah, I think it will be a bit odd to start off with. Jordan is such a big presence out on court, not just vocally, but in her leadership and how she plays. So yeah, it will be a bit odd, but I think we've developed a squad that all know how to play well together, and I've played alongside quite a few of the reserves girls before. So yeah, like as much as I'm so sad to see her go, and she brought a lot of maturity with her game. But I think, having a young squad that now we can start to develop and build on those connections. So yeah, next year will definitely be a building year in defence because we haven't had that sort of strong structure yet between us. But it's exciting. Yeah, definitely missing her though.
What's the one thing that you learnt from her?
The one thing, oh, I don't know. I think one thing is like not to take netball too seriously. I think watching her towards the end of her career, you could just tell she was always, as much as she was very competitive, she was also relaxed out on court. So I think personally that's something that I can take on board. Sometimes I get too caught up in making sure I follow the game plan, follow the structure, do my role, but if you're actually out there playing and you're relaxed and enjoying it, that's usually when you play your best game. So I think that's one thing that I definitely look up to her in regard, because she was really able to do that in her last couple of seasons. You could just tell she loved playing. And she was just, yes, she would laugh out on court, but then she'd also have her serious side. So making sure you have that balance in the netball space, I think that's super important. So that's probably one thing that I've learned from her, but I've learned so much else as well. So
what will be a highlight, for you playing alongside Jordan? Was there a particular game throughout both your time working together in that defensive circle?
Probably not one game. I think I've always watched Jordan and always wanted to play alongside her. So just getting this the season just gone, actually getting more of an opportunity to play alongside of her has been a highlight in general. Yeah, I couldn't really pinpoint one game exactly. It feels like it's been a while since the season's been to actually remember what happened. Yeah.
Now, one thing I love, and obviously I was at that grand final about a couple months ago now, and I love that the league team got into the old dress. Not obviously not the one behind me, but even older than that.
Yeah, the bodysuit.
When did that all come about?
Oh, it was actually Jordan and I were talking at a dinner once, and we were like, oh, we love getting dressed up, and then it kind of just eventuated to us being like, let's see if we can find some of the heritage dresses. So the dress that we ended up wearing, that was the dress that they wore in the last premiership that Oakdale have won. So it was sort of a bit special in that regard. But yeah, that was so much fun for us league girls. And I think it also, hopefully, our aim was with wearing that is just to bring a bit of fun and to help the resis not take it too seriously, because when you're going into a grand final, it's so much pressure. So, having us there, just having a bit of fun, hopefully helped to relax them a little bit. But yeah, it was good fun wearing those dresses.
Has the team recommended to use those dresses throughout the season, actually playing in it?
I don't think we'll be bringing them back anytime. No, I think they're going back into storage now. They'll only come out just for a bit of fun, but we all really love our current uniform. So yeah, I think we'll be sticking with our normal dress.
Now you mentioned before you've got some new recruits as well coming across to Oakdale.
Yeah.
Do you mind? Actually, if it hasn't been released, you don't have to tell us. But if they
Yeah.
who are the players that you picked up?
Yeah, so we've got a girl coming, Ella, her name is. She's moving back to Adelaide. She's a mid-quarter, so she's played over in the Perth League for the past couple of years and also represented Perth at state. And I'm pretty sure she was selected for the AIS as well a couple of years back, or potentially quite recently. We haven't actually met her yet, but that's super exciting to have her included in the space. Who else have we got coming? We've had a few other girls come trial from other clubs that I think we've also included in the squad as well. But yeah, we haven't really had once preseason starts, that's kind of when we'll get a bit more of a look as to who's definitely in the space. Yeah, but yeah, it is exciting.
Now I have to ask. Obviously, I did get a chance to go to your presentation night, which is seems like I always keep missing your presentation nights. But how did that all go? And if you can remember, who were the award winners for the league side of things?
Yeah, so Paris was awarded the Peter Scholes Award, which is MVP of our league side, and then Aisha, our goal shooter, got runners up, and then Kayla Howes was awarded MVP of the Razzies, and then Alex Ward was awarded runners up. And shout out to Kayla, who was she got MVP of the whole reserves competition. So that was super exciting. And the club is so proud of her for doing that. Yeah, because it's definitely not easy when you're competing against not even just within your club, but so many other athletes. Yeah, she was definitely a standout goal shooter within the reserves league.
I'm glad you mentioned Kayla, who won the league MVP as well. So, what I meant, league, the whole competition, MVP for the Rezzies.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about her, and especially, her massive rise, not just this year, but obviously the years in the lead up to her season MVP.
Yeah, Kayla had an amazing season. She was definitely the most consistent shooter across the reserves league. She brought so much leadership to the reserve side as well. So it wasn't even just her ability to play netball. Like she really led the reserve side out on court. But yeah, I think don't quote me on the numbers exactly, but I think she was like, I can't remember how many goals she was in front of the other girls, but it was something crazy, like something ridiculous, that no one was even close to the amount of goals that she shot throughout the year. So yeah, definitely deserving of reserves MVP, that's for sure.
Now, of course, you mentioned about Paris, who won your league MVP for your club one, that is. Tell us a bit about how special it's been playing alongside her, and I know she's a very close friend of yours as well.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, yeah. No, I love Paris to bits. I think there's nothing better than getting to play alongside some of your best friends and actually see them succeed within their space. So seeing her win MVP just inspires me so much as well. But yeah, no, Paris is an absolute jet out on court. When I have to play against her at trainings, I hate it. she's so quick and so strong. And then her ability to read the play as well. Like she's just an all-round great player. Yeah, no, I think definitely watch out for her next season. That's for sure.
Let's finish off with a couple of light-hearted questions about your teammates there at Oakdale for this past season.
Yeah.
So who had the most embarrassing moment on the court this past season, and what was it, knowing that all your games are videoed?
I think we get a couple of Falcons throughout the year, and then Paris always, I don't think there's a game where Paris doesn't end up on the ground somehow. But I think that's just her level of commitment to going hard at every single ball.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I can think of one exact moment which was the most embarrassing.
Mm.
I'm sorry, I might have to come back to that one. Or yeah.
No, that's all right. All good. So who's the comedian, the best singer on internet TikTok/Be Real? I think I might know at least two of these answers.
Okay. The best singer, found out recently, Olivia Nichols is very good at singing. She'll whenever we're with her, she'll just start singing randomly and we're like, you're actually really good, even though she'd probably deny it. She's probably well, there may be other girls who can sing as well, but she's the one I hear the most of. But I actually think she's pretty good. And then TikTok, I think I'd have to probably say Poppy Shoals. Her and
Yes.
her sister have an account together and they often pop up on my For You page. So I think those two would probably be the most TikTokers because, yeah, I reckon it probably would have been George when she was back, when she was playing with us. So that will probably change next year. So maybe ask me again next year and I'll tell you who the new comedian is. There's a couple girls who often say some funny things. Like Laura Duncan will often come out with some random comments. We're like, where have you come up with this? Yeah, she's probably up there, I'd say. She's pretty funny.
Oh, how I knew Poppy was going to be the TikTok one. So
Yeah, she loves it.
has she dragged you into one of those ones?
No, I haven't got a feature yet. Yeah, maybe I'll ask
Oh,
her, hey.
has have you have a pre-game superstition or ritual, or has it changed since we last had you on the show?
I don't, it probably hasn't changed, no. I always have, before I leave home, I have a coffee to give me a little bit of extra kick out on court, to wake me up because often our games are quite late. So
Yes.
that's usually helpful if I've worked during the day or gone to uni. Once I'm at the court, I'll take my ankles, chuck my shoes on, and then I'll usually either bring a banana with me or the club will have bananas and I'll have a pre-game banana, which is a little bit of energy there as well. Oh, and then the other thing is that this year or this season just gone, Paris, Liv, and I used to always park next to each other. So that
Yes,
was just
that's right.
a thing. So yeah, so it'll be interesting to see if that happens again next year. Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned that because that was actually I'm going to ask. I was going to ask about that. Do the 3 year actually time when you both you like when you all arrive, or try to reserve each other's spot so you actually do putt with each you know next to each
Yeah,
other?
not we don't really time it exactly. We all just have to be there at the same time, I guess. But I guess because we're getting there earlier, then we usually like if I'm there first, I'll try and make sure that there's a couple other parks next to me so that they have options as well, and they probably do the same thing. So yeah, it works out well.
Any good nicknames in the team we should know about?
Oh, Paris, for some reason, I'm not sure about how she got this nickname. I don't actually call her it, but or I don't use it regularly. But Aisha, our goal shooter, often calls Paris paracetamol. So
Oh,
I think
that's right.
that's
That's right.
probably the only really out there one. Apart from that, we kind of just have regular sort of nicknames for everyone. But yeah, I'm not sure. I think I'd have to ask her how she got paracetamol as her nickname, but it's yeah, it's a bit funny. I don't think we'll
That's
call it
right.
on court, but in conversation sometimes she gets it.
So, how special is it to have Smash FM as your play sponsor for? Is it 2 or 3 years now?
I think it's two. Um, yeah, no, it's awesome. Yeah, we appreciate it, or I appreciate it so much. Yeah, we can't really have our season without having player sponsors, so helps put me out on court, get our uniforms, shoes, training facilities, and everything. So Yeah, no, it is awesome. And you do such a great thing working with so many athletes and help promote our sport and our club. So yeah, I appreciate it so much. So yeah, thank you, Smash FM and Will.
No worries, Mikayla, and we love having you as our ambassador as well. So
Thank you.
and but thank you so much for getting up some of your time to join us. It's awesome having on the show to review an amazing year in 2023, and hopefully next year, hopefully the league can get into the finals in 2024, and obviously the Rezzies can go one step further
Yeah,
and
definitely.
go all the way and win it all.
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah, watch out for Oakdale in 2024, that's for sure. Thank you for having me.
No worries. And as Mikayla there, of course, from the Oakdale Netball Club, and of course, one of our ambassadors over there in South Australia, because the only one that we've have on in netball over there in SA. There's more on the Smash Board Show right after this. Don't go away here on the 10th year celebration.